Let's jump right into this explainer, because we're looking at a completely fascinating new theory about a missing piece of our cosmic neighborhood. When we look up at the night sky, it's so easy to just assume everything we see has always been exactly where it is today, right? But recent discoveries are pointing to a much, much more dramatic history. Today, we're exploring how a totally invisible phantom planet might actually be the secret architect behind some of the most striking features of our gas giants. To really get our heads around this, we basically have to throw out our current picture of our cosmic backyard. Instead of the peaceful, clockwork orbits we're used to, I want you to imagine a chaotic game of cosmic billiards. Because billions of years ago, the early solar system was a seriously violent, crowded place. We're talking about an environment where giant worlds literally smashed into each other, migrated all over the place, and scattered everything in their path. The gravity from these massive, newly formed planets was warping space, creating this highly unstable environment where absolutely nothing was locked in place yet. And all that early chaos leads us right to a massive, lingering question. Where did all these moons come from? When we look at the sheer, frankly bizarre abundance of satellites orbiting our outer gas giants, astronomers have debated for a long time how they managed to acquire such massive entourages. As you look further out into the dark, the numbers completely explode. So we have to ask ourselves how these giants collected and held on to so many moons. Take Jupiter, for instance. Jupiter alone has at least 95 recognized moons. 95! That is a staggering collection of rock and ice trapped in orbit around just one single planet. And forming a collection that massive and that diverse locally, well, it's a huge mathematical headache for astrophysicists. Scientists are now starting to realize that getting to a number like 95 might actually involve an ancient, massive act of cosmic theft. Section 1. Meet the Phantom Planet. The sheer scale of what we're talking about here is absolutely massive. A lost or rogue planet isn't just some stray asteroid. We're talking about a full-blown, massive planetary body that was right there during the early formation of our solar system. But because of all that early gravitational instability we just talked about, it was eventually ejected completely into deep space. Think of it as the universe's absolute worst neighbor. It moved in, caused absolute havoc, disrupted everything around it, and then got kicked out of the neighborhood entirely, never to be seen again. And this idea represents a huge paradigm shift in astronomy right now. The old theory kind of assumed that moons formed slowly and peacefully from local disks of dust and gas surrounding the gas giants, almost like miniature solar systems forming in miniature. But this new theory? It tells a totally different story. It suggests this lost planet essentially crashed the party. It tore through the outer solar system, gravitationally disrupting belts of space rocks and practically feeding them straight into the gravitational pull of the gas giants. Section 2. A cosmic game of billiards. So, the really crucial point here is this specific three-step process. In step 1, our lost planet swings dangerously close to a gas giant's orbit. It doesn't collide, but it gets way too close for comfort. Then, in step 2, this interloper's rogue gravity acts like a bowling ball hitting the pins. It completely destabilizes the surrounding asteroid fields and icy bodies that were otherwise just minding their own business. Finally, in step 3, the chaos settles. The debris, having been totally knocked off its original path, is abruptly captured by the immense gravity of the gas giant, becoming newly adopted moons. Basically, the lost planet acts as a gravitational bully, sweeping up debris and handing these gas giants their massive lunar systems on a silver platter. Section 3. Shaping the gas giants. When we look closely at these specific orbital quirks, we can actually see the fingerprints of our phantom planets scattered across both Jupiter and Uranus. See, astronomers basically divide moons into two camps, regular and irregular. Regular moons have neat, circular orbits. But irregular moons, their orbits are highly eccentric, tilted, or even going entirely backward relative to the planet's spin. And here's the thing, you just don't get backward orbits from a peaceful natural formation process. A lost planet's sweeping gravity perfectly explains how these distant, chaotic rocks were violently thrown into the giant's capture zones. Plus, when we look at Uranus, its entire moon system is heavily tilted, which points a massive flashing neon sign at past gravitational interference from a rogue body. And the sheer scale of this is mind-blowing. Irregular moons, the ones captured via this lost planet's disruption, actually make up a tremendous chunk of the total moons around these planets. A massive portion of these lunar systems are actually stolen goods. They were snatched from the void, forcefully relocated from their original orbits, entirely thanks to our rogue planet playing a massive game of hit and run millions of years ago.
Section 4. The Solar System's Ghosts.
This perfectly summarizes why this entire topic matters so much. Quote, "The current architecture of our outer solar system is the surviving remnant of a highly dynamic and chaotic early environment shaped by unseen bodies. When we look at Jupiter's 95 moons or Uranus's weird tilted orbit, we aren't just looking at rocks in space. We are looking at a fossil record. The serene, orderly solar system we observe today is essentially a facade. It's built directly on top of a violent, pinball-like history. It literally took a missing planet to build the familiar neighborhood we know today." And honestly, that is exactly what makes this science so thrilling. I want to leave you with this final thought for this explainer. If a lost, phantom planet was responsible for building Jupiter's massive moon system, what else is missing from our cosmic history? What other invisible forces, long ejected into the cold, dark depths of the Milky Way, secretly shaped the very world we live on today? It really makes you look up at the night sky with a whole new sense of wonder, doesn't it? Thanks for joining me to explore this, and definitely keep questioning what's out there.